Bring it closer.
Good evening. My name is Kristen Ike. I'm the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate for the City of Deltona, and I'm calling the Special Magistrate hearing of, what is today's date? July 23rd, 2025 to order. First thing on the agenda is the roll call, so I will have all the code compliance officers introduce themselves.
Mark Gibson, Code Compliance Supervisor.
Danny Ron, Code Compliance Manager.
Samuel Schaller, Assistant Fire Marshal.
Sharon Shivers, Fire Marshal.
Lisa Nadeau, Fire Inspector.
Jory Bailey, Fire Inspector.
Jessica Cotterman, Hearing Clerk.
Tyler Russell, Code Enforcement, Customer Service.
Todd Mead, Code Compliance Supervisor.
Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next on the agenda is my statement about how the hearing is going to proceed this evening. I am going to read this so I don't forget anything. This is a public meeting, which means that no general public comment will be accepted, but each of the respondents and the code enforcement officers here tonight, and any witnesses each of you call, will be able to present evidence to me regarding each case and the violations of the Deltona City Code that are being alleged. I am an attorney and appointed by the City Commission to render decisions in these code enforcement cases to determine if a violation of the city code exists and what fine will be imposed, if any. If you are here for a Massey case, you might see that next to your case number on the agenda. That means that I will be determining solely whether you have come into compliance in a timely manner in accordance with the previous order the special magistrate issued in your case, and will not be reopening the case to determine whether or not a violation existed in the first place. Any decision I make this evening will be put into a written format in the form of an order. A copy of my written order will be provided to the city and then mailed to you as well. It is important to note that for any order I issue, you may appeal by filing a written notice of appeal with the circuit court within 30 days of the execution of my order pursuant to Florida Statutes Section 162.11. The procedure of the hearing today will be governed by Chapter 162 Florida Statutes. Formal rules of evidence shall not apply, but fundamental due process shall be observed and shall govern the proceedings. Hearsay is admissible, but only to support other competent and substantial evidence. If you are a respondent, you will be able to testify, tell me what you think I need to know about your case, present evidence and witnesses. Your testimony will be under oath, so I will be swearing you in, and this hearing is being recorded. For each case, I will call the case number, and the city will proceed first. The city has the burden of proving that the code violation exists, then you will be allowed to respond. For each case, I intend to admit the case file and the PowerPoint presentation that will be shown for the case. And you should have received a copy of your case file when you came in this evening. If you did not, please let me know when I call your case. As I said, I intend to admit the case file and the PowerPoint presentation unless a specific objection is received. I will take the cases in the order that you signed in generally, first come, first served. And I do have a couple of cases here that I will announce that have been withdrawn or continued. So let me read those off. The following have been withdrawn. DEL 25-040 Massey case, 912 Halstead Street. DEL 25-058, 1611 Giffen Avenue. DEL 25-074, 700 Cortland Boulevard. DEL 25-075, 3182 Overdale Street. So if you're here for any of those cases that I just read, you do not need to stay. Your case will not be heard this evening. I will go ahead and swear in everyone who intends to testify today as a group, which includes the code compliance officers. So if you're able, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, please say I do. Thank you. All right, I have no ex parte communications to disclose and no announcements to make, so we will proceed on with the cases. Okay. All right, I have Fire 026-2025, 1200 Deltona Boulevard, Suite 48.
This is Robert Arnold representing the defendant in the action, I guess.
Respondent, yes.
And we had requested a continuance because we had submitted the paperwork. So I don't know if we're required to have a whole hearing or if we could have this put out 30 or 60 days. It's our first time on.
Okay. And so for the city, are you amenable to the request for continuance?
No, we are not.
Okay. What is the reason for the request for a continuance, sir?
We submitted revised plans on July 18th, and in order for the city of Deltona and the to review those, to let us know if we are issued a permit. And 1, 2, I'm out of town and can't be present.
I do have further information on the permit that was submitted.
Okay.
It is in my script, so once I go to my script, he can make a decision from there.
Okay. So,
I'm sorry.
yes, sir.
I also, because I'm appearing remotely, I tried calling all last week, and then a couple of the people, I guess, Jessica and Renee weren't in, so I spoke with them on Monday in order to notify them that I was requesting a continuance and I was out of town. But I also haven't received the file, which apparently if I was in person, I would at least be able to receive that file. So can't really tell if I have any objections to that file. So that would be further reason for a continuance. And if it is required a hearing, then I may obtain special counsel in order to handle this as well.
Okay. So I typically don't give continuances if the city is ready to proceed with the case. Usually what happens in these matters is this is an initial hearing, and so I'm really here to determine whether or not there's a violation that currently exists, and part of my role then is to provide a reasonable time for compliance before any fine will begin. So if you're telling me that there are a number of, that you have plans that you've submitted and that you're well on your way, hopefully, to coming into compliance, then I'm happy to take that into consideration when I am determining the amount of time, necessary for compliance. So what I can do is, if you would like me to, you made a statement about the file. If you haven't been sent this, we can, I'm sure, email that to you, and we can take a couple other cases and then come back to this one.
That's correct. If the gentleman would, I didn't see him swearing via Zoom also, just to make sure.
Well, he's an attorney, correct? You are an attorney, sir?
I'm not acting in a legal capacity, but
Oh, you're not? Okay.
Yeah,
Are you the business owner?
I am.
Okay.
Oh,
So
you're
we
the
also
business
have the property owner of the plaza. Michael is here as well.
Okay. So are you the
So-
property owner, sir?
He's the owner of the business, but not
Yeah.
the owner of the property.
Okay. Is the owner, and you are the owner of the property, sir?
I'm the owner's representative, yes.
Okay. All right.
So, the request for us to continue it, one of the requests was that I may obtain legal counsel. I didn't understand that this is such a complex case that we have to go forward on the initial court hearing. I was assured that it would typically be granted a 30 or 60-day continuance in order for the city to review the resubmitted plans. But if there's going to be some type of legal finding, then I believe I'm entitled to have legal representation as well. And I was not led to believe that. And for me to look at a file and review that within 10 or 15 or 20 minutes and make a determination as to whether I want to admit or object, I think I'm entitled to legal representation.
If there is any legal binding, it wouldn't be towards your business, it's towards the property owner.
I'm sorry, is that the hearing officer speaking, or is that one of the witnesses speaking, Your Honor?
I'm sorry, my name's Jory Bailey, I'm with the fire department.
Right, and you're a witness to testify, not to tell me what my legal rights are, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have an objection. This individual, this case is the city of Deltona versus the property itself. I'm not sure why we would entertain this person's request for continuance in the case when they're not actually an involved party in the case itself, where it's the city against the property itself. It's not the city against Palm Tree Podiatry LLC.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All
So
right.
the permit is in our names, and I am the power of attorney as well as for permitting for Alpine Painting, which is the contractor.
He doesn't know the permit's been issued, does he?
I'm sorry, I can't hear
I'm
what you're
sorry.
saying.
I think you might not be aware that the permit was issued this morning, and this will be resolved as soon as this contractor picks it up. So I think he's a little concerned over not much.
All right. Given the information that, you're the property owner's representative, you are present, obviously. We're going to proceed on with the case. So I'm going to go ahead and hear the presentation from the city. Go ahead, sir.
For the record, my name is Jory Bailey. I am employed by the city of Deltona as a fire safety inspector. This case number, Fire-026-2025, the city of Deltona versus Deltona Wellness LP. The property address is 1200 Deltona Boulevard, Suite 46, Deltona 32725. Parcel ID is 813-00060-00020. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Chapter 42, Article 4, Fire Codes, Chapter 42-186, which adopts the most recent edition of the Florida Fire Prevention Code as adopted by the State Fire Marshal, which contains the Florida Pacific version of NFPA 1, Fire Code Section 1.7.12.10. No construction work shall proceed until the authority having jurisdiction has reviewed the plans for compliance with the applicable codes and standards, and the applicable permits have been used. Corrective action for said violation is to obtain and issue building permit for the removal of the interior walls and construction of the new interior walls. Contact our office with permits numbers once obtained. The statutory requirements for notifications of this hearing has been met. The notice of hearing and notice of code violations were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. On February 4th, 2025, I conducted a fire inspection at this address. I observed multiple violations, amongst others violations which have since been corrected. I noticed multiple walls were constructed to create offices without permits. Building permit 25-0015 was applied for on March 4th, 2025, but not issued. Subsequently, inspections conducted on March 11, 2025, April 7, 2025, May 8, 2025, May 29, 2025, and June 30th, 2025. Observe the new construction still in place without a permit being issued. As of today's date, permit Building 25-0015 is now ready to be issued, but has not been picked up and issued as this hearing. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance with the remainder of the violations, or a fine of $50 per day until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
This might be maybe a technical question, but the permit has been issued, correct?
The permit is ready to be picked up, so until they pick it up, it's not issued.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Did you have, all right, and you recommended, I'm sorry, 30 days and?
30 days to get the permit issued.
Mm-hmm.
And $50 per day until.
Okay. Okay, thank you. All right. Sir, can you state your name and address for the record?
Sure. I've done this before. It's
recall.
Michael Mather, and it's at 2837 County Road 776 in Webster, Florida, 33597. And I'm so happy to only say that once tonight.
Okay. And what would you like to tell me, if anything?
I wouldn't want to go into this, but for the edification of the business owner, I want to state that each time there's an inspection, the inspector provides a report to the facility manager on site. And then when it gets to be this point, obviously there's a note posted. That note was posted on July 9th, the day after I spoke to the property manager, that particular podiatrist manager, and gave him a clear understanding of the gravity of the situation. I also spoke by phone with that manager and the contractor and let them know what they were facing. Clearly that contractor took it seriously, because in the last 10 or 15 days, he's gotten his ducks in a row, and the permit has been issued. It just needs to be picked up. We don't fight any of this. We're absolutely fine with this result, and I'm pretty confident this will get cleared up. So.
Okay, thank you. So as I stated at the beginning of the hearing, now that I understand who the parties are here, or who the people are here that are for this hearing, we don't allow others to give comment about cases unless you're telling me that you're calling this individual that's on Zoom as a witness. Are you doing that? Do you want him to provide testimony to me?
I had no idea that he was interested in pursuing this. He did not contact me to ask to be a part of the hearing.
All right.
I don't object to him having an opinion. However, because all these fines fall to the owner, I'm really the only one that has any say here. And so I'm okay with this violation. I'm okay with the result, the 30-day notice and the $50 per day. And I'm very confident that this contractor will pick up the permit in a timely fashion and finish the work.
All right, thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and make my ruling. As I said before, we don't accept public comment on these cases, so if there's no intent to call, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name, sir, that's on Zoom.
It's Robert Arnold. I have no objections. Everything
Okay.
sounds great.
All
Thank
right,
you for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on 30 days, which would be August 22nd, 2025. In the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $50 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. So please stay in contact with Mr. Bailey.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, George.
All right, next case is DEL 25-069, 1235 Providence Boulevard.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Good evening.
My name is Tina Pagan. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 25-069. The City of Deltona versus ECA Buligo Providence Partners LP. The property address is 1229 Providence Boulevard, Deltona, Florida 32725. The parcel ID number is 813-0050-60010. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of International Property Maintenance Code. Section 304.1, which states the exterior of structure shall be maintained in good repair, structurally sound and sanitary, so as not to pose a threat to the public health, safety, or welfare. Corrective action for said violation is for the roof to be repaired, replaced, or maintained in good repair and exterior surface. Obtain permits if required. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing of code violations were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser record. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, has been marked as exhibits and submitted to Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. On May 31st, it was brought to our attention by the building official that this property's roof is a safety hazard because of loose roof tiles, possibly falling on pedestrians, and requested person of contact. On 6/7, I arrived on site and observed the roof is in disrepair. On 6/14, roof remains disrepair, proceeding with NOV process. On 6/27/2025, I arrived on site and observed violation remains. However, loose shingles have been removed, but the roof remained disrepair. On 7/10, I arrived on site and observed violation remains. The roof is in disrepair. I posted a NOH on the property. During my most recent visit, the property continues to be in violation. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $25 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified city of compliance.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sir, could you state your name and address for the record?
My name is Joel Squitieri, and I'm here representing 1229 Providence Boulevard in Deltona.
Okay. What would you like to tell me about the case?
Well, originally we thought it was due to the loose tiles, which we did have removed, so we didn't realize that the violation was something other than that at the time. Obviously, we realize that now, but currently the issue that we have is that there is a law from the FWC. We have bats inside of the roof, and during mating season, you cannot block them or remove them until August 15th. So we cannot make the repairs, which would violate that law, until after August 15th.
Interesting. You don't happen to know the citation for this law, do you?
I mean, it's on all of their websites. I'm not sure of the exact.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't either. But after trying to have the bats removed, the companies won't do it, obviously, until after that period. It's from April 15th to August 15th.
Okay. Is the city aware of this situation? Do you have comments on this?
We're not aware of this either.
Okay, all right. Are you amenable to extending the time frame to come into compliance due to the bat issue?
No, that's no problem. And actually, I just found it on Google from
Okay.
April 16 to August 14th. It is illegal to exclude bats from buildings without a permit. So, yes, we'll confirm.
All right. So, given that, sir, do you think 60 days would be reasonable? That would be out to September 22nd. Does that sound like that would, based on your conversations with the bat removal?
Yeah, I think so, because we're going to have to go through the process of having the bats relocated first before we can even begin the repairs.
Yeah. I mean, I can set it out a little bit beyond that to give you some time, because obviously, we want to give you the time to do that removal.
Sure.
Okay. Was there anything else, sir, that you wanted to say?
No,
All right.
that's it.
Okay. Let me get the calendar. No, it's thinking. Here we go. All right. I'm going to go ahead and make my ruling. I find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4 o'clock p.m. I'm going to set it out to October 21st,
Okay.
which is 90 days.
Gotcha.
In the event respondent does not comply by this date, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. The respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. So please make sure you stay in contact and let her know when you have made the repairs.
Will do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next case is DEL 25-068, 2362 Pavilion Terrace.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Good evening.
My name is Josemar Jimenez. I am employed by the City of Deltona Code Compliance Officer. This will be case number DEL 25-068, the City of Deltona versus Daniel Grimaldo. The property address is 2362 Pavilion Terrace, Deltona, Florida 32738. The parcel ID number is 813-021-140070. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain their required permit. The corrective action for said violation is to obtain a permit for the shed on the property. Applications must be submitted to the City of Deltona. The structure must meet all requirements of the city ordinance and be approved on final inspection. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner to the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case originally was opened on May 2nd, 2025, when addressing other violations on the property. I noticed a shed that was in the backyard. I searched under our old permit system and our new permit system and property appraisers to not finding any permits on file. I was able to investigate that the shed was not in the backyard last year. I attempted to reach out to the owner with no response. I left a courtesy notice along with my card and scheduled a recheck for the following week. On May 14th, 2025, I rechecked the property for permits on file and found no results, and shed was still present on the property. Therefore, I posted on the property a notice of violation, and I also sent out certified mail. I met up with the homeowner, Mr. Grimaldo, the next day on May 15th and went over the violation and corrective action, which at that time he requested an extension, which I granted him another 30 days to comply with getting a permit issued for the one shed left on the property. I spoke with Mr. Grimaldo 30 days later on June 18th, 2025, and he informed me that he attempted to get the shed permitted at City Hall, but the shed is over 120 square feet, which means it will require engineer drawings. He informed me that he was trying to get the company where he bought the shed to do it for him. A week later, I spoke with Mr. Grimaldo, and he informed me that he was unable to get the engineer drawings through the company and that he bought the shed, where he bought the shed from, but he on his own accord reached out to an engineer through email for possible progression of getting the permit issued for the shed. I informed him that unfortunately the prior extensions have already been given, so I'll be proceeding and taking the case to special magistrate. I posted the notice of hearing on July 9th, 2025, and to this day the compliance still has not been met by the owner. The city would like to request 60 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $25 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Thank you. Okay, sir, can you state your name and address for the record?
Yes, Daniel Grimaldo, 2362 Pavilion Terrace, Deltona, Florida, 32738.
Okay. What would you like to tell me about the case?
Yeah, so I bought the house. I wasn't aware that I would need a permit until got the Golden Book. Once Officer Jimenez and I spoke and went over everything that was in the Golden Book and other rules and stuff, I did try to retrieve the engineered drawings from the shed company, but they haven't got back to me. I've reached out to some other, I guess, engineers that do sheds, but just determined that it's not really worth the hassle. It's pretty much close to $1,000 to get the engineered drawings, which I wasn't aware of, which is like a quarter of what I paid for the shed. So my wife and I just decided to sell the shed. So that's why I let Officer Jimenez know, I think earlier in the week or last week. So we decided that's what we're going to do, and that's why we're requesting the extension for probably 60 days, I'd say, to get it sold and get it off the property.
Okay. All right. That is one way to come into compliance, is to remove the shed.
Figured it'd be easier.
All right. Anything else before I make the ruling?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on September 22nd, which is actually 61 days, so it's not on a weekend. So September 22nd, 2025, in the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code and compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order, so please stay in contact with her.
Yep.
Let her know when you take the shed off the property.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, this is case fire 027-2025-271 Fort Smith Boulevard. Go ahead.
For the record, my name is Jory Bailey. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a fire safety inspector. This will be case number fire-027-0025, the City of Deltona versus Two Star Investment, Inc. The property address is 271 Fort Smith Boulevard, Deltona 32738. Parcel ID is 813042250-150. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance, Chapter 42, Article 4, Fire Code, Chapter 42-186, which adopts the most recent edition of the Florida Fire Prevention Code, as adopted by the State Fire Marshal, which contains the Florida Pacific version of Violation A, Chapter 42, Article 4, Fire Code, Chapter 42. Florida Fire Prevention Code, 8th edition, NFPA 1, Chapter 1.7.12.10, no construction work shall proceed until the ASJ has reviewed the plans for compliance with the applicable codes and standards and the applicable permits have been issued. Violation B.
Mr. Bailey, sorry, before you continue, it'll help me if I understand, are you alleging that all violations A through E are still not in compliance, or have any of them come into compliance?
No, ma'am.
Okay, all right, thank you. Go.
Violation B, Florida Fire Prevention Code, 8th edition, NFPA 1, Chapter 11.1.8. All panel board and switchboards, pull boxes, junction boxes, switches, receptacle, conduit bodies shall be provided with a cover compatible with the box or conduit body construction and suitable for the condition of use. Violation C, NFPA 1, Chapter 11.1.2.2.1, where the AHJ determines that there is sufficient evidence that existing electrical wiring, fixtures, appliances, or equipment is potentially unsafe. The AHJ is authorized to require an evaluation of the existing electrical wiring, fixtures, appliances, or equipment, or portions thereof by a qualified person. Violation D, NFPA 1, Chapter 11.1.2.2, unless determined to present an immediate danger. Existing electrical wiring, fixtures, appliances, and equipment shall be permitted to be maintained in accordance with the addition of NFPA 70 in effect at the time of the installation. Violation E, NFPA 1, Chapter 11.1.7.3.1, each disconnecting means shall be legibly marked to indicate its purpose unless located in a range so the purpose is evident. And other than one or two family dwelling, the marking shall include an identification of the circuit source that supplies the disconnecting means. The marking shall be sufficient, durable to withstand the environment involved. Corrected action for said violation is to, for violation A, obtain a permit for the installation of the new electrical panel and call in all final inspections. Violation B, provide a approved cover plate for the open junction box. Violation C, contact a licensed electrician to provide a report containing an assessment of the electrical wiring, fixtures, appliances, or equipment along with recommendations for any needed repairs to correct the unsafe conditions. Violation D, junction boxes does not appear to provide adequate free space for enclosed conduit conductors. Please install a secondary junction box and relocate excessive wiring. All work shall be conducted by licensed electrician. Violation E, provide a complete and accurate panel schedule for the electrical panel. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing has been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violations were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. On October 24th, 2024, I conducted a fire inspection at this address for a follow-up from a previous inspections with open deficiencies. During the inspection, I observed new deficiencies at this location. The electrical panel was missing a panel schedule and receptacle, and lighting has been installed throughout the building. The property owner was informed of the violations and given a time frame for the corrective action. On November 16, 2024, Volusia Sheriff's Office received a call for the service at this location regarding a loss of power to the building. The individual stated he was replacing the electrical panel and then lost power to the building and wanted the fire department to come out to see if everything was safe. Fire crews responded and advised they were not able to inspect the electrical system for integrity and to leave the power off until an electrician was contacted. This prompted a follow-up visit on November 19, 2024, in which a newly installed electrical panel was observed without permit. In addition, a junction box was observed overstuffed with electrical conduits and missing a cover, in addition to another junction box on the ceiling missing a cover due to concerns with the integrity of the electrical system of the building. It was requested that the power remain off, and a report containing an assessment of the electrical wiring and fixture was provided by a licensed electrician. On December 19, 2024, permit electrical 24-0071 was issued for the installation of the new electrical panel and receptacles. A follow-up inspection on January 16, 2025 found no progress made on the remainder of the violations and no reports provided from a licensed electrician with an assessment of the building, electrical wiring, and fixtures. Numerous attempts were made to contact the property owner to conduct an on-site inspection. However, the owner stated he no longer had access to the building and that his realtor was the only one with the keys to the building. The contact information from the realtor was requested to conduct an on-site inspection, in which the property owner stated he did not have his contact information. On a follow-up inspections, reports containing the outstanding violations were sent to the property owner on May 14, 2025 and June 2nd, 2025, in which no response was received. On June 17, 2025, the permit for the new electrical panel, electrical 24-0071, was canceled by the contractor with no inspection conducted. This prompted notice of violation to be sent to the property. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance with the remainder of the violations, or a fine of $50 per violation per day until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Okay, thank you. So can you, and I see you've tried to label some of this in your pictures, but can you kind of walk me through each one and explain what the issue is? So for violation A, the construction that was done was the installation of the electrical panel without a permit? Is that right?
All right, so for violation A, so yes, they installed a electrical panel.
Okay. And then you said that there was a permit that had been submitted, but then it was canceled by the contractor?
The contractor canceled the permit.
Okay. And then for violation B, it is the cover of the new panel, or I'm sorry, the cover of the new electrical panel? that is missing, or is that a different thing?
No, so for violation B, there's multiple junction boxes that are missing covers, so they has exposed wiring sticking out of the boxes.
Okay. And then for C is,
So we're
yeah.
requesting an
the evaluation.
yeah.
And did you give a deadline for them to give you the evaluation?
The deadline was on the report. It wasn't a specific deadline. We just normally for inspections we give a deadline when we're coming back to do an inspection. So we expected it by that time.
Well, in any case, it would be the deadline that you gave on the notice of violation.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so, and then, violation D is,
So, the junction boxes that have the exposed wirings in it is overloaded to the point where they try to stick another junction box on top of it, which doesn't meet code.
okay. And then the, violation E is
The new electrical.
schedule, right?
Yeah, the electrical panel needs a schedule.
And that basically tells you where each.
Each breaker goes to.
Each, yeah. Okay, thank you. My only question then, other question is, 30 days to accomplish all of that does seem like a short amount of time. So can you elaborate on why you think 30 days would be sufficient to do all of those things?
Last time I spoke to the owner, they said they had an electrician that's ready to submit for a permit.
Okay.
So that's why I gave him 30 days, because he said he already has an electrician ready to go.
Okay, all right. Sir, can you state your name and address for the record?
Yeah, my name is Mohammed Asgar. My property address 271 Fort Smith Boulevard.
Okay, and are you the property owner?
Yes.
Okay, what would you like to tell about the case?
Actually, all those things my previous tenant did it, but we don't know. I don't know about it. And then he had an issue to get the permit to running the business. So then he walked away and making all
With
those
the
mess.
contractor? The
Not a
contractor walked away?
not a contractor, my previous tenant.
Oh, the tenant,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
So that's why he did it, all the illegal things. I don't know that. And so I spoke to him what's going on, and he said, wow, I cannot run a business because I cannot get the permit to run the business. I don't know, some kind of business he have to do the outside or whatever. But anyway, he left.
Okay.
So in the meantime, I got another person to lease it,
You have a new tenant.
new tenant, and I had a contact with him. He's going to do legal way everything, all those things. He's going to do it. It's under contract, on the lease. And in the meantime, so we give him key and everything. So I think, but the building is still a vacant. He's the new tenant work with it, and I don't know his violation or notice because I'm not there, and the new tenant he's not there either. So anyway, I'm making short. We had the contractor. He already submitted the application, and that's what I'm work with it.
Okay, but I think the testimony was the contractor that did submit.
No, that's the previous
Oh, that's the
tenant.
previous? Okay.
Previous tenant, yeah.
So now you have a contractor that's ready to.
Yeah, the contractor already put an application for the permit.
Okay.
I think the last Friday or something.
I haven't seen the permit as of yet, but I will check it again.
Yeah, because when I called someone and said, wow, there's the hearing 23rd, and then the permit will be issued after 23rd. That's what I heard.
Okay. So I think the only question is, do you believe 30 days will be sufficient for you to, because your contractor is submitting the permit, and it sounds like you're ready to, hopefully begin work
Yeah,
soon.
the contractor already submitted
Okay, so 30 days seems sufficient. All right. Is there anything
you
else?
can make it maybe more than 30 days in case, if you can.
Yeah. For the city.
But maybe it's not going to take 30 days because
Yeah.
the new tenant, they're trying to get in soon as possible.
Well, there's other things too. It's not just the contractor. You're going to have, I guess,
Evaluation.
an evaluation done by an electrician. So there's that as well. Would the city be amenable to 60 days? Or no? Okay. I think let's do 45
Yeah,
days,
that's
give you a
good
little
enough.
extra time. And then we'll move on from there. Okay. Anything else before I make the ruling?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right. I find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged for violations A through E, and the respondent shall correct the violations before 4:00 p.m. on, it's actually 47 days because of the weekend, so it's September 8th. September 8th, 2025. And in the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $50 per day per violation will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. The respondent is further ordered to contact the code and compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. So please stay in contact with Mr. Bailey and let him know your progress.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So deadline is the September 20.
September 8th.
September 8th. Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, the next case is Fire 010-2025, a Massey case, 1307 East Normandy Boulevard.
Good evening, Your Honor. For the record, my name is Samuel Schaller. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as the Assistant Fire Marshal. This will be case number Massey Fire-010-2025, City of Deltona versus Pajon Medical Center, LLC. Property address is 1307 East Normandy Boulevard, Deltona, Florida, 32725. Parcel ID is 813-005-460-180. This is a Massey case. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met. The notice of hearing and notice of code violations were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This is initially a case for violation of Chapter 42, Article 4, Fire Codes, Chapter 42-186, which adopts the latest edition of Florida Fire Prevention Code. In specific, the Florida edition of NFPA 1, Chapter 1.7.12.10, which states, no construction work shall proceed until the authority having jurisdiction has reviewed the plans for compliance with the applicable codes and standards and the applicable permits have been issued. It was ruled on March 26, 2025 that the property owner was given 90 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 90 days and has been receiving a fine of $50 a day since June 25, 2025. As of today, the property has accrued a fine of $1,450 over 29 days.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I wasn't finished.
go
I
ahead,
apologize,
please.
I had to flip pages.
Go ahead.
A permit was applied for this work on July 1st, 2025, but was rejected by permitting on July 3rd, 2025, due to an incomplete permit application and plans being of inadequate size for review. On July 18th, 2025, larger size drawings were provided. However, An incomplete permit application was still provided, along with numerous other deficiencies of the plans, which have been cited by building and fire review. Therefore, the permit has not been yet issued. In closing, the city would like to request the fines of $50 per day to continue until the property has come into compliance.
All right, thank you.
And also, Your Honor, I did bring with you, or not with you, but I brought to you from me the plan review comments as well, just in case they do come into question as to why the permit has not been issued yet.
All right, thank you. And this was for removing interior walls and doors, correct? And in addition of a new wall and a door in a different place, is that right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Sir, can you state your name and address for the record?
Alfred Graham.
Okay, what would you like to tell me?
Really nothing. We just got to get it done.
Okay. All right. I mean, it sounds like you're trying, but unfortunately, you haven't quite got there yet. That there's review comments outstanding. So, unfortunately, I did give 90 days, which is pretty, significant amount of time. So, I'm going to have to impose the fine, as I said I would, in the original order. Is there anything else you want to add before I make the ruling?
No, I got a paper saying that when I turned the first plans in, it wasn't going to be any fines.
When
I turned the plans in this time,
Oh.
when they was too small, it's wrote at the bottom of my receipt, and no fines will be applied.
On what?
Your
I'm
Honor,
not sure what you're referring to.
if I may, I believe Mr. Graham's referring to, there's a sort of like an intake sheet, if you want to call it, when we receive plans. Based on the amount of reviews is when we apply a plan review fee. That box was checked on the bottom because we didn't charge a plan review fee for that just because the plans were too small. But it was completely separate and unrelated to the code case.
And I see, yeah. So if that makes sense, so the ruling that I made previously still stands, which was that you were required to come into compliance by June 24th. And you haven't, so the fines will apply and will continue to run until you achieve you actually get the permit issued for the changes. So please make sure you stay on top of your contractor to get responses into the city as fast as possible, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. I find respondent in this case failed to correct the violation by the time specified in the special magistrate's prior order in this case, and the fine will be imposed as set forth in that order and will continue to run until the property is brought into compliance and an affidavit of compliance has been filed by the code compliance inspector. Respondent shall notify the code inspector to verify compliance. So please stay in contact with Mr. Schaller.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is case DEL 25-070, 2073 Heathwood Street.
My name is Steve Brockhoff. I'm employed with the City of Deltona's Code Compliance Officer. This will be case number DEL 25-070, City of Deltona versus Barbero Joel Perez Almirel, and Duana Hernandez. Property address is, and I apologize if I pronounce that incorrectly. The property address is 2073 Heathwood Street, and the parcel ID is 8130-3111010. This is a violation of City of Deltona, Section 18-3, adopted in the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who attends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy or building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application with the building official and obtain required permit. Specifically, this is for an addition to the back of the dwelling. Statutory requirements for this notification of hearing have been met by notice of hearing and notice of violation were sent certified mail to the property owner, listed to the property appraiser's website. In addition, both notices are posted on the property at least 10 days and at City Hall at least 10 days before this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code board clerk. I certify that all photographs be true and are accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day that they were taken. This case began in June 26, 2024. When the city received a complaint from the neighbor that the work was being done in the back of the house without a permit to enlarge it. There's a privacy fence, and I wasn't able to view the violation directly, but I checked the Volusia County Property Appraiser's website and found that the addition had been added. I checked and found that there was a permit pulled, but the permit was only for flat concrete work, so just for the extension of the base, not for the actual roof and building. I posted a notice of a violation on the 16th of 2024, June 16th. The owner contacted the city right away, but only spoke Spanish, and I made arrangements to go out to the property with our manager, Danny Ron, who is very fluent in Spanish. We were both led to the back, and they showed us the addition that they'd made, and our manager explained that permits had to be required. They have attempted to get permits. They've submitted several times, but there's been some problems with the permits. But the last time that they attempted to submit anything has been since March. So there hasn't been any activity since March. And currently, I just checked with the permit clerk, Heather Murray, and to date, the permit has not been issued. The staff would request that 30 days be given to come into compliance with the permit, and a fine of $30 per day if it's not in compliance.
Okay, can you give me an idea of what some of the issues are with the permits? As it looks like this case has been open for quite a while.
Yes, we've been, because they have been working, and there's been several revisions for the, and we're contacted by somebody was a contractor drawing up the permits, and so we realize how difficult it is. So we have been working with them quite a while, and the reason why I requested the hearing is because there hasn't been anything done since March, and the building there is still, with the new rooms, it's got electrical, walls, windows, doors.
So there were just comments on the permit applications that were submitted before, is that, or were they incomplete? Do you have?
There was, I believe that there were some that were one of the comments, I think they were missing a bunch of files. I do have a permit here that I can submit to the court. But, like I said, it shows that they were working, but there's deficiencies. And they need to continue to work with the permit department to correct those deficiencies and get the permit. The other option would be to remove the structure. I know that's difficult.
Yeah. Okay. All right, thank you. Can you state your name and address for the record, whoever's going to speak?
Melissa Perez. The address is 2073 Higgles Street. I'm gonna start to say my first language is Spanish.
Okay.
So sorry for my accent. So I understand and speak like the most that I know.
Yeah, and Mr. Ron, I think you could assist as well if necessary, right, in Spanish?
That's correct. I'll try
Okay.
my best.
All right. If you can tell me, if you'd like to tell me anything about the case, you can, or if you need to, speak in Spanish, you can say that to Mr. Ron and he'll translate it for me as well.
I think I feel more comfortable if he can translate for my parents, because maybe I'm confused on words and they don't understand what I said.
Okay.
¿Va a traducir?
Well, okay, so if you'd like to tell me anything, or your parents would like to tell me anything about the case, go ahead. And then he'll help.
Algo acerca de tu caso, pues que le diga, para ver si te puedo ayudar. Para que le digas que te
¿Desean decir algo en este caso?
Sí,
¿Qué fue lo que dijeron?
Y vamos a tratar de traducir lo más posible.
ok. Lo que pasa es que el caso no solo se ha demorado porque el Departamento de Salud se demoró en darle al arquitecto el ok del CETI.
There's a delay because the health department,
Departamento de Salud.
the health department, the delays in the health department, trying to get that approved.
De hecho, ya tengo el contrato del señor del séptico, que aquí le traigo el contrato firmado como que ya se empezó a trabajar en el caso.
She has a contract with the architect. Cuando eso recién se ha hecho eso.
Sí, porque el Departamento de Salud recién el día 14 fue que dio como que no aprobaban el séptico que teníamos.
¿Y ya se ha aprobado todavía? No, todavía no se ha aprobado.
No, ya tengo el contrato con el señor del séptico.
Okay, usted le puede enseñar eso.
Sí.
She wants to show that there's a contract with the architect on this project.
Okay. What is the issue with the health department?
I guess because they're adding square footage to the living area, the septic might be won't be sufficient. It's not big enough tank to support what's the livable space that they've changed it to.
Has the health department been out?
¿Tiene el documento del Departamento de Salud?
Sí.
She has some paperwork from them. Would you like to see that?
Sure, yeah.
Este es del Departamento de Salud y este es el contrato del señor del CETI. No, este es este. Y aquí está la tarjeta de él.
I guess the question I have, if you're able to answer it, is the city's building permit, though, dependent on the health department's septic?
Yeah, the septic tank, that would stop the building permit. And that would also, I've worked with the health department before, and if they're going to require a new septic tank, if that's what they're going to do, then that would probably add time.
Well, that was going to be probably my next
Yeah.
question. All right, so,
Because I've had a septic, my own personal house, and I know it takes almost 2 months for all that.
well, if the issue is the septic system, what is the intended action that you're planning to take? Are you planning to increase the size, or are you planning to remove the structure? Mr. Ron just walked off. Hold on one moment.
¿Remover lo que construiste o o dejarlo?
No, dejarlo. Para el séptico sí removerlo, hacerlo un nuevo más
Sí,
grande.
no.
Mr. Ron?
El plan es dejarlo.
Mr. Ron, I just
ma'am.
asked a question. Can you translate it? So my question is, if the issue is the septic system, what is their intended plan of action? Are they going to increase, get a new septic system or increase the size of the existing one? What is their plan?
¿Qué son los planes para el sistema de septic en la propiedad?
Hacerlo más grande.
They plan to go bigger on the septic tank.
They do?
In the drainage, yes.
Okay.
Para que le puedan aprobar entonces los permisos para la construcción.
¿Cómo?
Para que puedan aprobar los permisos del estándar que hicimos.
Lo van a hacer más grande.
Sí, tienen que hacerlo obligatoriamente y no se lo aprueba.
Okay. They plan to make the drainage bigger, septic tank bigger, so it can accommodate the size of the living area.
Okay. And what is the intended, or what is the anticipated timeline for when that's going to be finished?
¿Cuánto tiempo piensa que va a tomar para completar con el permiso? Porque el problema es sacar el permiso.
Sí, el señor nos dijo que el permiso se demora de 4 a 6 semanas en que el Departamento de Salud lo prevé.
It takes 4 to 6 weeks for the health department to approve the permit for the health department.
Que ya no depende de
For the construction to begin.
Para la construcción, para comenzar.
el séptico.
Yes, to start the work, para cambiar el séptico.
El séptico completo.
My
4 to 6
personal experience, that's
weeks.
just for the permit, and then try to get a contractor in there might take extra time.
Yeah, so 4 to 6 weeks for the contractor for the septic to make it bigger. That's how long it's going to take.
Well, and then again, the violation we're dealing with is for the building permit.
Yeah.
So then would that be issued not until the
Yeah, they
construction's
can't.
complete?
Yeah, they can't issue the building permit without the health department's approval on it.
Which would mean once they've completed the expansion of the drain field, right?
Yeah, once they've completed it,
Yeah.
and then they could, then I think there was probably a couple other issues, but they should be able to then pull the permit. The city it sounds more like we're talking 60 to 90 days, which would be okay with the city, providing that they don't have anybody staying in that section. That's our concern, is we don't know about the electric, we don't know about the safety of that particular section of the property.
Ms. Ron, can you ask if anyone is living in that, are there bedrooms or anything in that addition?
Esta parte de la casa, ¿han estado viviendo ahí? El lugar que se construye, donde está la construcción.
No, todavía no viviendo nadie. Nosotros,
¿Es un cuarto?
es un cuarto con un baño.
There's a room and a bathroom, but there's nobody living in there.
Okay. So even 90 days, that is going to be, what, 12 weeks? So, that does, even that seems like I'm trying to think of how, what the time frame should be, because they're going to have to get the permit, actually have the work done, and then obtain the building permit, correct?
Correct. Would it be possible to have a continuance for 2 months and then see where they're at?
If the city would like to continue, but
No, we would not like to continue.
Okay.
Okay.
We would like a ruling tonight, but we're okay with giving it time to correct
giving
the
it time?
violation.
Okay.
Correct.
Is 120 days acceptable?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell me before I make the ruling?
¿Hay otra cosa que necesita decir para ayudar con el caso?
¿Qué tiempo pueden darnos ellos?
How much time is?
Yeah, I'm intending to require compliance by 120 days, which would be November 20th.
Vamos a decir, tienen que sacar el permiso en 120 días.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
all
you
right.
very much.
I'm going to go ahead and make the ruling. So I find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on November 20th. In the 2025, in the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of, I think you requested $30, correct?
Correct.
$30 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. The respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. Please make sure you stay in contact and let them know your progress. And I hope that you can get all of this going as fast as possible so you can come into compliance. Okay?
¿Entendieron? ¿Sí?
I'm-
¿Entendieron?
Thank you very much.
¿Qué,
Okay,
¿Entendieron
and
todo?
lo del final, ¿qué fue lo que dijo?
Y al final es que le dio, sí lo
120.
encontró contra la regulación de la local de la ciudad, pero le van a dar 120 días para sacar el permiso, pues tiene que sacar el permiso, y si no se saca el permiso después de noviembre 20 de este año, 2025, la multa puede ser $30 cada día.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
may I keep these papers? May I keep them, or?
Ella puede coger, quizás.
Okay, I'm going to, so just for the record too, I'm going to admit the case file and the PowerPoint presentation as well as the two documents here. One is a proposal from Discount Router Service, and the other is the letter dated July 14th from the Florida Department of Health. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next case is Fire 028-2025, 1644 Providence Boulevard.
Good evening again, Your Honor. For the record, my name is Samuel Schaller. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as the Assistant Fire Marshal. This will be case number Fire 28-0025, City of Deltona versus DA Enterprises Limited and K.A. Crawford LLC. Property address is 1644 Providence Boulevard, Deltona, Florida 32725. Parcel ID is 813-014-60010. It's a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Chapter 42, Article 4, Fire Codes, Chapter 42-186, which adopts the most recent edition of the Florida Fire Prevention Code as adopted by the State Fire Marshal for the following violations. Violation A, NFPA 1, Chapter 10.11.1.6, address numbers for suites, units, etc. within a multi-tenant building or complex shall be individually identified in a manner approved by the authority having jurisdiction, however, shall not be less than 3 inches in height for residential and at least 6 inches in height for all other buildings, structures, or portions thereof. Violation B.
Mr. Schaller, same question I had before. Are you alleging that all of the violations A through E are still in noncompliance?
Yes, Your Honor, except violation C,
Yes.
the city would like to continue that to next month's hearing.
Okay, so you don't need to read that one to me.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
Violation B, NFPA 1, Chapter 1.7.12.10, no construction work shall proceed until the authority having jurisdiction has reviewed the plans for compliance with the applicable codes and standards and the applicable permits have been issued. Violation D, NFPA 1, Chapter 1.7.12.1, the authority having jurisdiction shall have the authority to require plans and specifications to ensure compliance with the applicable codes and standards. Violation E, NFPA 1, Chapter 14.4.1, means of egress shall be continually maintained free of all obstructions or impediments to full instant use in the case of fire or other emergency. Corrective action for said violations is for violation A, to provide, maintain a minimum of 6-inch in height address numbers, 1644, on the rear door of the building. Numbers shall be contrasting with background. Violation B, obtain an issued building permit for the following items: construction of new interior walls, installation of the new self-venting fryer and the associated electrical receptacle, installation of new electrical receptacles located throughout the kitchen, sales floor walls, ceiling, and cabinets. Violation D, provide the manufacturer's specifications for the following item for our office to review for compliance with the applicable codes and standards: the ResFab self-ventilating fryer and the small cooking appliance that's located in the kitchen. Violation E, remove the wall obstructing the means of egress in the kitchen or obtain an issued building permit for the construction of the wall showing that the means of egress is no longer required on the building plans. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met. Notice of hearing and notice of code violations were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. Certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what was observed on the day they were taken. On March 4th, 2025, Fire Safety Inspector Jory Bailey conducted a fire safety inspection at this location, in which he observed work in multiple areas that was conducted without a permit. A new kitchen area was created, consisting of numerous walls and the associated electrical, without a permitted fryer on file. In addition, a self-venting deep fryer was installed without permitting and was also observed in use, along with a small convection oven-style cooking appliance. The cooking, Your Honor, if I may, this is a pretty lengthy narrative, so a little bit of this is going to go into depth of the history of how we wound up to this point. So I just apologize if there's a little bit of extra material in the narrative, but City was just hoping to paint a picture of the entire situation at this location. He observed the self-venting fryer installed without proper permitting in use, along with a small convection oven-style cooking appliance. The cooking equipment was not provided with a Class K fire extinguisher as required by Chapter 50 of NFPA 1 of the Florida Fire Prevention Code. The non-permitted work also cut off access to a means of egress, which is an exit door located on the north side of the building. Other violations observed also included a fire alarm system that was not being properly maintained, numerous extension cords for permanent wiring throughout the building. In addition, the installation of the kitchen created a separate issue with the fire alarm system, which had a smoke detector installed in the now kitchen area, which would need to be moved or replaced with a heat detector. Additionally, one of the newly constructed walls was also obstructing a fire alarm pole station. Business owner was given informed of the violations, given time for corrective action. However, due to the hazards created by the non-permitted cooking appliances installed, a stop work order was given in writing to the business owner regarding the use of the cooking equipment, which is to stay in effect until proper permitting is obtained, and that the equipment could be reviewed for compliance with the applicable codes, standards, and the manufacturer's specifications. This was also when we requested on the fire inspection report the manufacturer's specifications for both of these cooking appliances we observed in use. A follow-up inspection conducted on May 7, 2025, which the fire alarm system issue had been rectified in terms of it being maintained. However, the smoke detector in the kitchen area had not been yet addressed. In addition, Class K fire extinguisher had been provided. The business owner was still informed the cooking equipment could not still be utilized until the proper permits were issued and the manufacturer's specifications had been reviewed. The extension cords had been removed. However, in their place were now numerous new electrical receptacles installed throughout the building without a valid permit issued. The remainder of the other violations also remain in place. Follow-up inspection on May 28, 2025 found no progress on the violations, and additional electrical receptacles had been installed without a permit. On June 12, 2025, myself, Fire Safety Inspector Jory Bailey, and Assistant Chief Sharon Shivers met with the business owner, Mr. Patel, and an individual who we hired, Mr. Edwin Cruz, who stated he was going to help obtain permits for the work. Mr. Cruz had advised me that he was not a licensed contractor, but worked with licensed contractors to help resolve these sort of issues. The conversation initially started with a request for a permit waiver of some sorts for the walls, because 9 separate contractors visited the site, and none of them would claim the work had been, take ownership of the work had been conducted and apply for the permit for it. This raised further concerns with staff regarding the quality of work that was done, the safety of it, and the integrity of the new electrical. Mr. Cruz was maintaining there is no possibility of a variance or a waiver for the work, and that if a permit could not be obtained, the work would need to be removed and the space restored to its original condition. It had also been determined that the fire alarm system was not required for this location due to being a Class C mercantile occupancy, but that removal would require the permission of the property owner to ensure they did not need it for insurance purposes or any other reason. Mr. Cruz stated he understood these requirements. A follow-up email was sent to Mr. Cruz and Mr. Patel summarizing the meeting and detailing the corrective action required. On July 2nd, 2025, an email was also sent to Mr. Cruz, which contained the original fire alarm, life safety, and electrical plans for the building to help expedite the permitting process. An email was received from Mr. Cruz on the morning of July 2nd, 2025, stating that he has requested the fire inspector to be patient and that he has been at this for almost a month now. Mr. Cruz also advised that he was licensed and was on his 5th electrical contractor who is going to do him a favor of pulling a permit for the demolition of the fire alarm panel and removal of the fire alarm system. He also stated that the electrical company sent a person over the weekend to demo the system while the permit was being filed and registration of the company was being sent to the county. For clarification, it was stated multiple times that a permit was required prior to the removal of the fire alarm system. That is violation C, which will be heard next month if it's not into compliance before the hearing. On July 18th, 2025, I was able to contact via phone the actual property owner, Mrs. Kimberly Crawford, and advised her of the situation. She stated that she had no knowledge of any interior alterations, nor had she authorized anything to be done to her property. She was also gravely concerned with the removal of the fire alarm system, stated she never would have approved this, and that she also would have required additional time to review what it would take and entail to have a kitchen installed in the building that she owned.
Is this a convenience store?
Yes, Your Honor, it's a gas station with a convenience store attached.
Okay.
Um,
And then there's like, is it a sort of a restaurant that's going to be intended to be in there?
It looks like a quick service style fried chicken sort of restaurant that was added into the corner of the restaurant, Your Honor.
Okay.
In further conversation with Ms. Crawford, she states she still reiterated that no, she would not authorize any work to be done on her property, and that she would be she was currently undergoing some personal issues with her health, and that she would be in contact with her legal representative, who would follow up with her tenant regarding the situation, and then she would advise back with us the path of action that she was going to take in regarding to either permitting or restoring the work back to its original condition. I did also send Mrs. Crawford a follow-up email this morning, Your Honor. I have not heard back from her. I also emailed her last week asking if she would be able to appear via Zoom. I have not heard back. She did state that she had several things going on medically related, and that she was essentially going through a very rough time. As of today's date, no permit has been applied for any of this work conducted at this location, and the manufacturer's specifications for neither cooking appliance have been provided. The remainder of the above-mentioned violations remain in place. The city would like to request the following timeframes for compliance for each violation. Violation A, 30 days. Violation B, 90 days. Violation D, 30 days. Violation E, 90 days. Or a fine of $50 per violation per day until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Okay. So again, I know you gave an extensive discussion, but it helps me to go through, in order of the violations. So violation A, is there a picture? There's just no address numbers at all?
There are, Your Honor. We went out to the site today and measured them. They're still not within the 6-inch requirement. There were no low letters originally at all. There were no numbers originally. The property owner drew them on there, which actually is allowed, but they were not the proper size. They weren't 6 inches.
Okay. So 30 days seems very easy to hopefully get that corrected.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Okay. And violation B, the construction that you're referring to is the installation of all of the receptacles and, right? And then what else would you?
Your Honor, I'm going to step over to the screen, if you don't mind, and if the hearing clerk could, thank you very much. Jessica, would you mind going to just the pictures to start at violation B? Thank you, sir. So, Your Honor, we're just going to go through the pictures one by one.
Okay.
As you can see here, circled is a newly installed electrical receptacle. Next picture, please. Another newly installed electrical receptacle. You can see the associated conduit with it. Next picture, please. 2 additional receptacles. Next picture, please. 2 receptacles located on the ceiling that were not there originally. Additional receptacles located under a counter. Another receptacle on the ceiling. Another receptacle located along the front wall. Another receptacle on the front wall. Here's the newly installed kitchen. This gives a pretty good picture of the layout of it. So here on the right, behind the Pepsi cooler and the looks like an energy drink or a Sobe drink cooler, you have a newly installed wall there that was without a permit. This also shows another receptacle that was installed on the ceiling without a permit. Next picture, please. Thank you. Just simply a different angle of that wall and the other receptacle on the ceiling. This is the RevFab self-venting fryer that was installed. There's the associated electrical with it.
Yes.
240 volt. Next picture, thank you. This is another receptacle that was installed on the newly installed wall. So now this is in the kitchen looking out towards the sales floor. As you see here on the left, there's the wall, there's the Pepsi machine that it was behind, and then directly above it is another receptacle on the ceiling. So now we've turned 90 degrees. We have the wall here, and then to your left, Your Honor, is where the egress door to the outside was, where a wall's been built over it. This is now turned 180 degrees, but moved back, Your Honor. On the right again is the wall where the wall was built over the door. Straight ahead, that white wall that the fire extinguisher is hanging on, that was also newly constructed. Newly installed electrical inside the new wall. And we can skip through any picture that has to do with violation C. That'll be continued to next month.
Okay.
And then violation E, I'm sorry, that's a typo. We can skip this one too. Here's violation D, Your Honor. This is the small cooking appliance that we noticed was in use during the initial inspection. We requested the codes and the manufacturer's specifications for it to ensure that it was listed for use in a commercial setting. And then this is the RevFab fryer that was also in use that we've also requested the manufacturer's specifications to review to make sure it's installed properly, you know, the placement of it, where it is. The owner has sent us a few different spec sheets for different self-venting fryers, but we've never received one for a ResFab fryer.
Okay.
Next picture, please. And then here's violation E regarding the obstructed means of egress. If we were to go back outside the building along that wall, this is the doors you can see. There's the wall there, the fryer, the prep table, the small cooking appliance is also located there.
And this is where the wall was built in front of this door.
Correct, Your Honor. Here's a picture from the inside of it with the circle showing where the door was.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Sir, can you state your name and address for the record?
Yes, I will, Your Honor, and it's a pleasure. Eddie Cruz, 3143 Black Pine Avenue, Winter Park, Florida.
Okay. And what's your relation to the property, sir?
To the tenant. The property owner,
Tenant.
I do not deal with. She's not the one getting fined. It's the tenant. So I'm going to represent him because there's a lack of knowledge and other situation.
Actually, it's the property owner that's getting fined.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Well, good to know.
Correct, Mr. Schaller, you brought this against the property owner.
That is correct, Your Honor. I explained the situation to Mrs. Crawford. You know, I'm apologetic that she wasn't aware of what her tenant was doing to her property. But I advised her, you know, statute 162, the ultimate onus falls on the property owner.
Correct.
She did advise that she was going to seek, you know, representation, additional legal representation for the matter against the tenant on her behalf.
Okay. So given that,
Yes.
if you can be very brief, because
I
I
will.
really do not, you know, as I said kind of at the beginning hearing, I don't typically allow other comments. So if you keep it very brief.
I appreciate that, Your Honor.
Okay.
A small synopsis of what's going on. The staff has been more than kind to orientate Mr. Patel while I was there. The door, the amount of square footage that's involved, the proper egress was approved, taking out of the fire alarm system, which was their suggestion, which we're grateful for to save money, to remove the fire system in order to keep the issue of the smoke detector that was located inside the cooking area, which unbeknownst to Mr. Patel, he was just ignorant to the situation that whoever did the work didn't really comply with anything, and they just took him for a ride. So other than that, we're trying to get everything caught up to date, and it's true what Mr. Schuyler said. I mean, I don't understand why the prior tenant was never fined, because they had pizza ovens, they had all that. The majority of the electrical work, on the ceiling was above the ceiling. They didn't want to pay for anybody to bring it down and put it where it needs to go. And forgive me for squinting, but my young one broke my glasses this morning, so I can barely distinguish anything right now. Thank God he's driving. But other than that, getting back to the point, we agree that everything that Mr. Schuyler said,
Okay.
but it was in much worse conditions. I mean, we had brought them down, like, for the deficiencies, so-called, 30 or 40 of them that were there existing. I think we believe we brought it down to about 3 or 4, which includes plumbing, which a contract was pulled. The contractor went in, pulled the permit. It was finalized, and I believe one of the inspectors came by and approved for a final. So the plumbing has already been taken care of. What we have to deal with that we applied for with LNC, mind you now, with all due respect, the plumber was number 9 to come and look at the work and accepted it, to do the work. Number 9 from Orlando. The electrical is number 8, LNC. Nobody else that came would want to even touch it because it was just too far, and obviously because of the situation that to start all over again. Mr. Schuyler was kind enough to offer his services and his help in producing a floor plan, what we call a footprint. In other words, for us to go ahead and identify where all the outlets were put and brought down from the ceiling, but we have yet to receive it. I know he sent some paperwork to Mr. Patel, but I do believe that page might have been omitted. It's just a regular floor plan of the existing building, old one, of course, to help us in order to facilitate marking where everything was brought down or put in for the electrical part. So LNC Electrical have done me the favor of, yes, pulling the permit for the demo in order to comply with the situation of the door, because it does fall into that category only for the as far as the, well, smoke detector, ionization unit, whatever you want to call it, to change it out. To avoid that, that's why the recommendation came in. Take away the fire alarm system, and we'll let it go. The square footage of the building requires a certain amount of doors for egress. We have 2 in the front, 1 in the back. We'll let it go. Well, that's fine also. Everything else, we've tried to comply. It just really, Your Honor, with all due respect, it's just difficult to find anybody to come out here to work.
Okay, so then my only question
Yes, ma'am.
is, you heard Mr. Schuyler's recommendations on the time to comply for each violation, correct?
That is correct, ma'am.
And you don't contest those?
No, it's been more than kind. The whole staff has been very helpful.
All right.
We just need them to make it work, to make it happen so I can find the right people to come and do the work.
Okay.
I'm just retired. I'm just a minion. I'm just want to get this over with for him.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and make my ruling.
Please.
I'm going to find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged for violations A, B, D, and E. And I'm going to find that the respondent correct the violations A and D within 30 days, which would be August 22nd.
A and D, ma'am?
A and D.
Will I get a copy of those deficiencies?
You will receive a copy of my order.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay,
And then the time to correct the violations B and E would be October 21st, which is 90 days.
That would be the wall, ma'am, and the electrical?
That would be, the receptacles.
Yes, ma'am.
Obtaining a permit for the receptacles and moving the wall.
Yes, ma'am.
And also E is for the means of egress has to be maintained free of obstructions. So to come into compliance with that, Mr. Schuyler, you're asking them to remove the wall that's in front of the door?
They have 2 options, Your Honor. They can either remove the wall, or during the permitting process, they can show on the plans, they'd have to produce a life safety plan showing that that means of egress is no longer required.
Okay,
That we can do, Your Honor.
thank you. All right, so in the event respondent does not comply by this date, a fine in the amount of $50 per day for each violation, so that would be $200 total, will be imposed for each day the violations continue past the aforestated dates. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order.
Would the court, I'm sorry to interject, would the court mind to be benevolent enough to lower the fines a little bit, just in case? Because 50, I mean, it's $200 a day. I mean, I just don't understand why it was never fined before with the prior tenant, which had it was terrible in there.
If I may,
Yes.
the prior tenant did install an oven without a permit, which is a completely separate matter. Upon Fire Safety Inspector Bailey going in and conducting inspection, informing them a permit was required, they removed it and all the associated electrical. And then they ended up vacating the space when Mr. Patel took in. Also, the prior tenant did not construct walls and block off egress doors without a permit. Which to
These
answer,
are new issues that have arisen.
yes, Your Honor, since the new individuals occupied the space, to answer Mr. Cruz's question as to why the last tenant was not fined.
Yeah.
Very true.
I think that, I mean, just so you're aware, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
I am able to impose a fine up to $250 for each violation per day. So a $50 fine is actually on the lower side, I would say.
We appreciate your benevolence. Thank you.
And so I'm going to maintain the $50. I think
Okay.
that some of these violations,
Okay.
I mean, they appear to be fairly egregious, so I'm going to maintain the $50. I am admitting the case file and PowerPoint as exhibits, and I find the notices properly given in this case. Thank you.
No, thank you. Take care, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Mr. Sauer.
All right, the next case is Fire 25-2025, 2160 Howland Boulevard. Good evening.
For the record, my name is Lisa Nadeau. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as the Fire Safety Inspector. This will be case number Fire-025-2025, the City of Deltona versus Deltona Partners LLC. The property's address is 2160 Howland Boulevard, Deltona, Florida, 32738. Parcel ID is... Sorry, do you want me to start over?
Oh, yes. Actually, sorry, yeah, because it probably didn't catch that, so
No,
yes,
that's okay.
please.
So, for the record, my name is Lisa Nadeau. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a fire safety inspector. This will be case number Fire-025-2025, the City of Deltona versus Deltona Partners LLC. The property address is 2160 Howland Boulevard, Deltona, Florida, 32738. Parcel ID is 811-404-000-013. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Chapter 42, Article 4, Fire Codes, Chapter 42-186, which adopts the most recent edition of the Florida Fire Prevention Code as adopted by the State Fire Marshal, which contains the Florida-specific version of Violation A, which is Chapter 42, Article 4, Fire Codes 42-186, adopted, Florida Fire Prevention Code, 8th edition, NFPA 1, 13.1.9, whenever impairments, critical deficiencies, or non-critical deficiencies are identified in water-based fire protection systems maintained in accordance with NFPA 25, they shall be corrected in a time frame approved by the AHJ. Violation B, Chapter 42, Article 4, Fire Codes, Chapters 42-186, adopted. Florida Fire Prevention Code, 8th edition, NFPA 1, 13.1.6, detailed records documenting all systems and equipment testing and maintenance shall be kept by the property owner and shall be made available upon request for review by the AHJ. Violation C, Chapter 42, Article 4, Fire Codes, Chapter 42-186, adopted. Florida Fire Prevention Code, 8th edition, NFPA 1, 13.5.4.2, A private service main installed in accordance with this code shall be inspected, tested, and maintained in accordance with NFPA 25. Violation D, Chapter 42, Article 4, Fire Codes, Chapter 42-186, adopted. Florida Fire Prevention Code, 8th edition, NFPA 72, 10.6.5.4, where a circuit breaker is the disconnecting means, an approved breaker locking device shall be installed. Corrective actions for said violations are to violation A, repair the noted deficiencies to the red tagged fire sprinkler system located on the property, including the deficiencies notated on the May 9th, 2024 and November 16th, 2024 fire sprinkler inspection reports. Back tag of the red tag that's on there dated for 11/16 of 24 on November 20th, 2024. The following was noted: replaced painted heads and beef O'Brady's, which was a correction, or they fixed that part of the deficiency, leaving the remaining deficiencies missing escutcheon, loaded heads in Chinese restaurant, subway, and empty units, suites 110 and 114, with no access. Violation B, provide a copy of the current fire alarm inspection maintenance report. Violation C, repair all deficiencies to the red tagged private hydrants on the property, including the noted deficiencies to the fire hydrant located behind New China Walk as stated in the May 9th, 2024 fire hydrant inspection report. Violation D, provide an approved breaker lock on the circuit breaker supplying the fire alarm control panel. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met. By notice of hearing and notice of code violations were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. On January 31st, 2025, I conducted a fire inspection at this address where I observed the above-mentioned violations. During the inspection, a copy of the current fire alarm maintenance inspection report was also requested. The property owner was notified in writing of the violations and given a time frame to correct said violations. Subsequent re-inspections on March 17th, 2025, April 16th, 2025, April 29th, 2025, May 20th, 2025, and June 5th, 2025 found no progress on the noted violations. Upon today's site visit, no progress has been made on the violations. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance with the remainder of the violations, or a fine of $50 per violation per day until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
All right, and so on violation A, can you just briefly describe the impairments with or deficiencies with the, is it the sprinkler system?
Yes, they're red tagged. Can I grab my paper real quick?
Yeah, yes.
Sorry. Oh my God, I can't see. And I didn't bring my glasses. Sorry. Oh, I don't think those would work. My eyes are screwy. I just can't see the date on there. I don't know what that date is on there. Do you know what it is? because I thought I had the reports.
I can't read that, so I don't know what it says either.
Was that the 2025? Because there's 5/9/2024. Yeah. So May 9th, 2024, the violations, and they pretty much, once you have the one, they just continue until they're repaired. On the bottom of the report, they put, it's red tagged, which is impaired. Loaded in suite 110, no access was loaded heads, and there was also 12 painted heads. They're 160 or 55-degree quick release, and they're painted heads. That's one of the violations.
Okay, so meaning it's painted over, so if it was to become activated, that would be a problem if it was painted over, correct?
Yeah, they have to be replaced, which it could affect them to set off if they have to.
Okay. And, okay, violation B, you're asking for the inspection report.
For the fire alarm.
And C is the service main?
Right, which is the fire hydrant.
Okay.
It was marked or tagged red. Ooh, sorry.
And then, so it's just, is it not functioning at all, or?
That I couldn't tell you. It's tagged red, and it used to have a bunch of red or yellow caution tape all around it. That's been removed since then. The fire hydrant, it says, sorry about that. When I'm trying to walk. That's the flows. Behind you, China Walk, which is that one. It just says there is no previous inspection deficiencies or previous deficiencies have been repaired. So I don't have what was, oh, here it is, sorry. Hydrant outlets are leaking, and the hydrant top is leaking.
So when it says a private service main, is the hydrant considered a private service main?
Yes, because it's on their property.
Okay, all right, all right. And then the circuit breaker, the disconnecting, you have to have the locking device. That's just, can that be easily installed on the panel?
They can be easily installed. It just prevents anybody, if they go to flip the breakers, that they're not going to turn that one off.
Okay, all right, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and make the ruling. I'm going to find that respondent in this case is in violation of the city code as charged for violations A through D. And that respondent correct the violations before 4:00 p.m. on August 22nd, which is 30 days. In the event respondent does not comply by the state, a fine in the amount of $50 per day per violation, which would be $200 total, will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the stated date. Respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. I'm admitting the case file and PowerPoint as exhibits, and I find the notices properly given in this case. Thank you. Next case is DEL 25-027, Massey case, 2435 Academy Avenue. One moment, I see all the fire people leaving. Just one comment, or question, and you can think about that for next time. I don't know if you're aware of the new HB 551 law, and whether, I think for the continued case that you asked me to continue, whether that would apply such that we can't ask for plans or specifications for the modification. So again, I don't need an answer now, but I wanted to give you the heads up that I have that question for next time.
Yes, Your Honor, we're prepared to answer.
All right, thank you. All right.
This is case number DEL 25-027. It's a Massey case. Addresses 2435 Academy Avenue. The owner is Karen Blakicki, and apparently she's not here. I'm Code Compliance Officer Steve Brokoff of the City of Deltona. Submitted an affidavit of posting and hearing, was sent certified for proof of service. This case was heard in the 26th of March 2025. The order was signed on the 15th of April 2025, giving until May 26, 2025 at 4 p.m. to come into compliance or fine of $50 per day until the property comes into compliance. The property is still in violation, and I was by there this morning. Just before noon, and the city requests that the fine continues.
Okay, so this was for a fence.
Yeah, it's been 59 days at $50, so right now it's $2,950 is what's accrued as of tonight, but once again, it's still in violation. No, and I spoke to the son who said he was going to try to get it into compliance, but nothing's been done. So the city requested the fine continue.
Okay. Thank you. All right, I'm going to find that respondent in this case failed to correct the violation by the time specified in special magistrate's prior order in this case, and the fine will be imposed as set forth in that order and will continue to run until the property is brought into compliance and an affidavit of compliance has been filed by the code compliance inspector. Respondent shall notify the code inspector to verify compliance, admitting the case file and PowerPoint as exhibits, and I find the notices properly given in this case. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is DEL 25-029, Massey case.
Hi again. My name is Tina Pagan. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be Massey case number DEL-25-029. The City of Deltona versus Eric Lafreniere. The property address is 125 Fieldstone Avenue, Deltona, Florida, 32725. The parcel ID number is 813-055-140080. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. It was ruled on March 26, 2025, that the property owner was given 60 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 60 days and have been receiving a fine of $25 a day since May 27, 2025. As of today, the property has incurred a total fine of $1,450 over 58 days. The city is requesting that the fines continue at $25 per day.
Thank you. And so the windows are still boarded up. Are these pictures from today?
Yes, I have pictures there of today. Not those. They coming now.
I see.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. We're still boarded up with plywood.
That is correct.
All right, thank you.
welcome.
I find that respondent in this case failed to correct the violation by the time specified in the special magistrate's prior order in this case, and the fine will be imposed as set forth in that order and will continue to run until the property is brought into compliance and an affidavit of compliance has been filed by the code compliance inspector. Respondent shall notify the code inspector to verify compliance. I'm omitting the case file and PowerPoint as exhibits, and I find the notice properly given in this case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next case is DEL 25-034, Massey case, 572 Leland Drive.
Hi, my name is Jeff Scott. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This will be Massey case number DEL 25034, City of Deltona versus Brian R. Owens. The property address is 572 Leland Drive, Deltona, Florida 32725. Parcel ID number is 813-012-200010. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing, notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted at the property at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. It was ruled on April 23rd, 2025, that the property owner was given 61 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 61 days and have been receiving a fine of $25 per day since June 23rd of 2025. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $750 over 30 days. The city is requesting that the fine continue at $25 per day.
All right, and pictures are from today with the roof
Yes, ma'am. The
still-
roof in disrepair with the holes
Okay,
in the roof.
I can't see. Okay, so those are holes in the soffits or, yeah?
Yes,
They're almost, they're missing,
Yeah.
right?
There's holes there on the,
Oh, on the edge of the roof? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. I find respondent in this case failed to correct the violation by the time specified in the special magistrate's prior order in this case, and the fine will be imposed as set forth in that order and will continue to run until the property is brought into compliance and an affidavit of compliance has been filed by the code compliance inspector. Respondent shall notify the code inspector to verify compliance. I'm omitting the case file and PowerPoint as exhibits, and I find the notice is properly given in this case.
Thank you, ma'am.
This is case DEL 25-050, Massey case, 1740 Fort Smith Boulevard.
Hello again. My name is Josimar Jimenez. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a Code Compliance Officer. This will be Massey case number DEL 25-050, the City of Deltona versus Lenora Tibet EST. The property address is 1740 Fort Smith Boulevard, Deltona, Florida 32725. The parcel ID number is 813-009-360050. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violations sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at the City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to Special Magistrate. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. It was ruled on May 28, 2025, that the property owner was given 14 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 14 days and has been receiving a fine of $25 a day since June 11, 2025. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $1,050 over 42 days. The city is requesting that the fines continue at $25 per day, and this is for the trailer in the front yard.
Thank you. Can you repeat, the amount of the fine that's accrued?
Yes, ma'am, the $1,050
$1,050.
over 42 days.
Thank you. All right.
Bless you.
I find that respondent in this case failed to correct the violation by the time specified in the special magistrate's prior order in this case, and the fine will be imposed as set forth in that order and will continue to run until the property is brought into compliance and an affidavit of compliance has been filed by the code compliance inspector. Respondent shall notify the code inspector to verify compliance. I'm omitting the case file and the PowerPoint as exhibits, and I find the notice is properly given in this case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is DEL 25-055, Massey case, 1697 Sumatra Avenue. Go ahead.
Ready.
Yeah.
I'll be reading this case in for the officer Bashir Turksies that worked the case. My name is Todd Mead. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance supervisor. This will be Massey case DEL 25-055. The City of Deltona versus Carmen D. and Carlos A. Torres. The property address is 1697 Sumatra Ave, Deltona, Florida 32725. The parcel ID number is 813-009-130-100. The statutory requirements for notification for this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violations sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with a property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what observed on the day they were taken. It was ruled on 5/28/2025 that the property owner was given 30 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 30 days and has been receiving a fine of $50 a day since 6/27/2025. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $1,300 over 26 days. The city is requesting that the fines continue at $50 per day. The city has decided to, continue at $50 per day.
Okay. And then, is it your testimony there's still no permit that's been applied for the fence?
The officer shared with me that they are working on getting a survey, so that should probably be at some time they are aware of they need a survey to acquire the permit. So it's
Okay.
if they're working on that, the officer has spoken verbally with the male resident at the home. He's laid it in his last notes on 7/9, spoke with a male resident.
Okay. All right. I find that respondent in this case failed to correct the violation by the time specified in the special magistrate's prior order in this case, and the fine will be imposed as set forth in that order and will continue to run until the property is brought into compliance and an affidavit of compliance has been filed by the code compliance inspector. Respondent shall notify the code inspector to verify compliance. I'm omitting the case file and PowerPoint as exhibits, and I find the notices properly given in this case.
Thank you.
This is DEL 25-066, 3259 Shingler Terrace.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Janice Polasic, and I am employed by the City of Deltona as a Code Compliance Officer. This will be case number DEL 25-066, the City of Deltona versus Vivian Jimenez. The property address is 3259 Shingler Terrace. The parcel ID number is 813-047-020-240. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, which adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 304.7, which states that the roof and flashing shall be sound, tight, and not have any defects that admit rain. Corrective action for said violation is to repair or replace the soffits. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and the notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day that they were taken. This case was opened up on March 26, 2025, after addressing the property for other violations. I noted that the soffits were missing from the front peak and the side of the garage. A courtesy door hanger was left on the door with the violation as well as the corrective action. I spoke to the granddaughter of the property on that day, and she assured me that they would have someone come out and fix the soffits. On April 3, 2025, the soffits were still in disrepair. I posted a notice of violation to the property. A copy was also sent to the property owner certified mail. I spoke to the granddaughter again and explained that the soffits were still in disrepair. She again assured me that someone would be coming out to fix the soffits. On July 9, 2025, the notice of hearing was posted to the property and sent certified mail to the property owner listed with property appraisers. An affidavit of service was also completed. As of today, July 23, 2025, the property is still in violation. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $25 per day to be imposed until such a time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
All right, thank you. I see the soffits are missing, so I'm going to go ahead and find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on August 22nd, 2025, which is 30 days. In the event respondent does not comply by this date, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. The respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. I'm admitting the case file and PowerPoint as exhibits and evidence, and I find the notice is properly given in this case.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is DEL 25-067, 2913 Lake Helen Osteen Road. Go ahead.
My name is Janice Polasic, and I am employed by the City of Deltona as a Code Compliance Officer. This will be case number DEL 25-067, the City of Deltona versus Elias Acosta Gonzalez. The property address is 2913 Lake Helen Osteen Road. The property ID number is 813-058-030-070. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 18-5, which adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 302.3, sidewalks and driveways, which states that all sidewalks, walkways, stairs, driveways, parking spaces, and some areas shall be kept in proper state of repair and maintained free from hazardous conditions. Corrective action for said violation is to clean and/or remove the hazardous condition and obtain permit if necessary. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day that they were taken. This case was opened up on April 3rd, 2025, after noting the driveway was dug up and pieces of concrete and rubble were left. Due to the property being empty, the notice of violation was posted to the property and was sent certified mail to the property owner listed with the property appraisers. I spoke to the property owner, Elias, via phone on June 7, 2025, and he advised that he had secured the permits and work would begin to be performed to fix the violation. On July 9, 2025, the property is still in violation and the driveway was still in disrepair. Notice of hearing was posted to the property and sent certified mail to the property owner listed with property appraisers. An affidavit of service was completed. As of today, July 23, 2025, the property is still in violation and no permit has been pulled for repairing the driveway. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $25 per day to be imposed until such a time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
All right, thank you. So these pictures are from today, and it looks like some of the rubble was moved around into piles.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with the house right now that started after the whole case, so there's other issues that are being addressed as well.
Okay. All right, but to come into compliance, are you requiring them to just remove the rubble, or are you requiring
To
them
maintain it and keep it in a hazard-free material, because right now it's not safe.
Okay.
The driveway, there's, lots of rubble still left on the driveway.
But so it's not just removing the rubble, it's also to put a new surface down.
Eventually, that's what they're planning on, but he has not yet secured any type of permits.
But I want to make sure I'm clear. You're asking to come into compliance, he would have to get that permit and put the new surface down?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Got it. Okay. I'm going to find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before I say that. So if to come into compliance, he's going to have to get the permit and actually put a surface down. Do you believe 30 days?
There's also an open case now for a building permit, which may encompass the whole exterior repairs of the home and the property.
But it's not required to?
No, it's not required. They're not required to have a driveway. It just has to be maintained in a safe, and free from any type of hazards.
But that's what I'm asking. If he were to basically remove the rubble and it would stay in that, basically what's just dirt, that will be sufficient for you to come into compliance?
To come into compliance for this, yes.
Okay, thank you. So all he has to do is actually remove the rubble?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. I'm glad we clarified that. Okay, so then I think 30 days is definitely sufficient. So before 4:00 p.m. on August 22nd, which is 30 days, and in the event respondent does not comply by this date, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed. For each day the violation continues past the aforestated date, the respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. I'm omitting the case file and the PowerPoint as exhibits and evidence, and I find the notices properly given in this case.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, this is DEL 25-071 A and B, 2208 Danforth Avenue.
My name is Steve Brock. I've been employed with the City of Deltona's Code and Compliance Officer. This will be case number DEL 25-071B. A is actually in compliance, so I will not be reading that in today.
Okay.
City of Deltona versus Robert A. Yinkst II and Teresa Toole. The property address is 2208 Danforth Avenue, and the property ID is 8130-7439-0150. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18.3, adopting the latest edition of Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner or authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such to be done, shall first make an application with the building official and obtain a required permit. This is specifically for the backyard shed. Statutory requirements for this notification of hearing have been met by notice of hearing and notice of violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed in the property appraiser's website. In addition, both notices were posted in the property and at City Hall at least 10 days before this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code board clerk. I certify that all photographs be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day that they were taken. This case began March 10th, 2025, while I was addressing the fence, which was it's now in compliance. My supervisor noticed that the shed in the backyard was new as well. So I contacted the respondent with a door hanger, and there's some attempt to communicate back and forth, but as of today, there is no permit for the shed. He did come down and try to apply for a permit for the shed. The was denied because of what he said he was going to be using it for. I'm not sure if that's going to be able to be changed, and a permit would be able to be altered. So he needs to come in and work that out with the permit department. The city is requesting 30 days be given so that he can either apply for the permit or remove the shed. And then if he doesn't do that, we request $25 per day if he doesn't comply.
What is he trying to use it for?
He indicated that he may have somebody stay in there temporarily, which is not allowed. I don't know why he suggested that to the permit department. The shed itself looks like it's over 120 square feet, but he indicated to me in a conversation that he thought he'd be able to get the engineer's drawings with no problem from the place he bought the shed at. They should be able to provide that. It's for him. And I think he's already installed some electrical, so he needs to permit those. And as far as the city code compliance is aware, that a lot of sheds can be permitted with electrical. So what he's got there might be, or if he is going to plan on using it for things he can't, then it will have to be removed.
Okay, so my only question is, I think you said 30 days, but if he has to obtain the engineered drawings and perhaps deal with the electrical that's installed, do you believe that to be sufficient? I would think 60 days would be more.
Well, that's only to pull the permit. Most shed companies have got the engineer's drawings, and it's just a question of acquiring them. Although I don't know that the electrical contractor might be a thing, and the city is fine with 60 days if that's acceptable.
All right. I'm going to find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on September 22nd, which is 61 days. And in the event respondent does not comply with the state, a fine in the amount of, I'm sorry, did you recommend 25?
$25.
Yes, $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. The respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. I'm going to admit the case file and PowerPoint into evidence as exhibits, and I find the notice is properly given in this case.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you. This is DEL 25-073, 3481 Cornell Terrace.
My name is Steve Brokoff, employee with the City of Deltona as a Code Compliance Officer. This will be case number DEL 25-073, City of Deltona versus Mikkel William Grimm. Property address is 3481 Cornell Terrace. The property ID number is 8130-3437-0080. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance 18.5, adopting the latest edition of International Property Maintenance Code 304.15, which states exterior doors, door assemblies, operator systems, if provided, and hardware shall be maintained in good condition. Locks in all entrances to the dwelling units and sleeping units shall tightly secure the door. Locks means of egress doors shall be in accordance with Section 702.3. Statutory requirements for this case and hearing have been met by a notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner of the address list of the property appraiser's website. In addition, both notices have been posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days before this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code board clerk. I certify that all the photographs be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. This case began April 21st, 2025, when I noticed the garage door at 3481 Cornell being broken and off the track. The property is vacant, so I went right with a notice of violation and requested certified mailing. Time to correct was given. The property has been mowed and being maintained by some management company. However, nobody has tried to contact the city at all with any communication. To date, the garage door is still in violation. The city requests that 30 days be given and a $25 fine if they fail to comply after the 30 days.
All right, thank you. Is the door, you said it was broken. I can't really, I mean, I can tell that it's obviously crooked and off the track. Is there obvious, like that the door is broken? I'm just asking.
Yes, Your Honor. If you look, the bottom panel is actually caved in, so the bottom panel is not connected to the other three above it.
Oh, okay.
So, and because of that, I would make, somebody could possibly gain entrance to the now there might be a door that's locked inside the garage, but at least the garage would be subject to entry.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. I'm going to find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on August 22nd, which is 30 days. And in the event respondent does not comply by this date, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. The respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. I'm admitting the case file and the PowerPoint as exhibits, and I find the notices properly given in this case.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, if you have no further cases. I suppose that's more of a question for Danny, not for me. All right, the next case is DEL 24-076, 858 Leeward Drive.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Good evening.
My name is Christopher Sorrentino. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 25-076, the City of Deltona versus Jose J. Lopez and Lucia Hernandez de Lopez. The property address is 858 Leeward Drive, Deltona, Florida 32738. The parcel ID number is 813-017-090-110. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 302.7, which states accessory structures including detached garages, fences and walls shall be maintained structurally sound and in good repair. Corrective action for said violation is to repair and remove the structure. The statutory requirements for notifications of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to the hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was originally opened on March 25th, 2025. The Code Compliance Department received a complaint by the RP on the property 858 Leeward Drive, stating her neighbor at the address listed had a fence in disrepair. On April 1st, 2025, I arrived at 858 Leeward to address the complaint that was made on this property. I observed the fence in disrepair and attempted to make contact with the homeowner. No one had answered the door, so a courtesy notice door hanger was posted on the front door with a violation and corrective action. On April 8th, 2025, no contact was made with me or the city and the fence was still in disrepair. So I continued with posting a notice of violation and had the NOV sent out per certified mail. On June 1st, I arrived at location and spoke with a man who had identified himself as Ricky Moran. He stated that he had recently suffered from a heart attack and was finally getting back to his feet and moving around. He stated he hired someone to take the fence down, to which I allotted him additional time to take care of the matter. On June 9th, some progress with taking the fence down was made. On July 8th, I escalated the case to Magistrate and continued with posting a notice of hearing on the front door of home due to lack of progress with the fence. On July 23rd, I arrived at 858 Leeward Drive at 10:29 a.m. to take my day of special magistrate photos to confirm the fence was still in violation by being in disrepair. The fence was still in disrepair. Day of photos have been attached to PowerPoint for visuals. The city would like to request 60 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $25 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has been notified of the city of compliance.
Thank you. You said how many days?
60.
60?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your
So
Honor.
so they have made some progress here on the left side of the house, I guess.
This would be the right side of the home.
Okay,
correct?
yeah. So they have the posts still up though.
Yes, and then on the
Yeah.
left side of the home, the fence hasn't been touched at all. It's remained the same since
Okay.
the opening of the case.
All right, I am going to find respondent in this case in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violation before 4:00 p.m. on, that would be September 22nd. It's actually 61 days. In the event respondent does not comply by this date, a fine in the amount of $25 per day will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. The respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. I'm admitting the case file and PowerPoint as exhibits, and I find the notices properly given in this case. I only have one question, which is I just want to make sure, this is not, okay. I think you have, just so you know, I think there's another case that's actually in this file as well. Yeah, this is 25075.
075 came into compliance.
Oh,
I
okay.
submitted
So,
the
well,
information
just so you
today.
know, they're in this file, so you might want to move that over to the right file. Okay, thank you.
That's it?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good evening.
You too. This is DEL 25-077, A and B, 597 Fort Smith Boulevard.
My name is Jeff Scott. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 25077 A and B. The City of Deltona versus Legacy Investment Team LLC. Property address is 597 Fort Smith Boulevard, Deltona, Florida 32738. Parcel ID 813-403-000-020. The property is being brought before a magistrate for more than one violation. These violations are as follows. Violation A, this is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 38-114, which states that storage of building materials, commercial and industrial equipment, materials, objects, or waste relating to commercial or industrial uses, or any equipment, materials, or objects that are not incidental to a residential use shall be prohibited. Furniture outside must be designed to be placed outdoors or stored inside a covered structure. In addition, storage of materials relating to residential use, children's play toys, firewood, brush, logs, or any other material intended to be used in fireplaces or other permitted burning facilities shall be permitted only in the rear yard next to the rear wall of the home. Corrective action for said violation is remove the outdoor storage is not allowed on the property or vacant lots.
Okay. Well, I mean, is this a residential property?
Yes, ma'am. It's a vacant property, vacant lot. There's
Uh-huh.
no structure on the property.
Okay, but it's a residential zone?
Yes,
zoning
it's a
district?
residential zoning district. Jeez.
Okay. Is it under active construction?
So there was a permit that was ready to be issued back in 23, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. The guy never picked the permit up, so there's no work hasn't been started on there. He just store all his stuff there. If you want to pull it up.
So they were about to get a permit in 2023, and do you have an idea of how long these, well, I guess, are you alleging it's building materials and the vehicles? Well, I
Yes.
guess vehicles is violation B, right?
Yes, ma'am. There was a Connex spots when I originally started the case. Other commercial equipment out there, Connex boxes and all that stuff.
Okay.
So that's the picture from the property appraiser. That's kind of show how that property looks, an area view of it.
Okay. And this is, I can't read that date.
January 25th.
January, okay. Are you going, Mr. Ron, are you going back? Because you can have further, there's like previous aerial photographs, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Or I'm sorry, who's controlling? Oh,
Yes, that's residential, vacant residential property.
okay. Well, I mean, if you can just go back from the last couple, I'm kind of curious to see.
Yeah, this would be from end of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And then let me jump back to say 2020.
Well, I don't see anything there. Okay, so can you go to 2023? I mean, it looks cleared, but I'm not really seeing the, materials there.
So when I originally spoke with the guy on February 5th, we was able to get photos on that property.
Okay.
And the photos are in exhibits. You want to pull those exhibits up?
Okay. All right, so it looks like maybe since January of 2024.
Yeah, that's when he started accumulating stuff on the property.
All right. Go ahead, I'm sorry. I interrupted.
Okay, hold on. All right. Violation B, City of Deltona Ordinance Section 6618A, which states that no vehicles greater than 10,000 pounds, manufactured gross vehicle weight, or designed to carry 16 or more passengers, or requiring a commercial driver's license of any endorsement to operate shall be parked or stored in any residential or agricultural zoning district except in agriculture areas on lots of 5 acres or more. Vehicles that are inoperable or that do not have a current or invalid license plate and validation sticker affixed to the license plate are prohibited within the city unless stored in a completely enclosed structure. Corrective action for said violation is to remove the vehicles from the residential area. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. These cases were started on February 5th for different issues at this vacant residential property. That morning, I conducted a site visit and observed a McIntyre tanker truck and 2 males on the vacant property. For officer safety, I had 2 more officers to come with me to speak with those males, and we identified ourselves. One of the males advised the property owner, Jeff McIntyre, who was not currently on the property. He provided his phone number. I also explained to the males that although all the equipment, including the commercial equipment and commercial vehicles, are not allowed on the property in a residential area or vacant residential lots. The one male called Mr. McIntyre and put his phone on speaker, so I explained to Mr. McIntyre about the violations and advised I can work with him as far as time goes so they can come into compliance. As I explained the violations, Mr. McIntyre started being argumentative, asking who made a complaint, and I advised I was directed by my department manager. He then asked if he put up a fence that he knew everyone at City Hall and he would start making phone calls, and I advised him the name of my manager and advised that I will give him time to correct those violations. Photos of the violations were taken, and I notified my manager that I made contact with those males on the property. Other site visits were made, and the property continues to be in violation. As of this morning, the property remains in violation. Due to these violations being in a residential zoning district, the city would like to request 10 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $50 per day for violation A, and 7 days for violation B, or a fine of $100 per day to be imposed until such a time that the property owner notifies the property of compliance.
Okay, so for violation B, it's the tanker truck
Yes, ma'am, and the
it's
dump
been-
truck. There's a
and a dump truck?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I can't, recently I haven't seen the tanker truck, but the dump truck still remains on that property.
okay, so dump truck. And it has been parked there for some time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
He had plenty of times, and like I say, I spoke with him, and he was aware.
Mm-hmm. All right. How long But, I mean, I guess how long has it been there? Quite a while.
As far as I know, this year at least.
Okay.
It's not.
All right.
I observed it back in February, so.
Okay. I'm going to, and then I'm sorry, so you said how many days for violation B?
Violation B, 7 days or a fine of $100 per day.
Okay, and then violation A was?
10 days or a
10
fine of $50 per day.
Okay. I'm going to do, I mean, this is obviously, given the aerial photographs that we've looked at, it's been there for quite some time. So I'm gonna do 14 days for both of them.
Okay.
To have time to find another place to store the vehicles and the equipment. And, I mean, I think that's still a very short amount of time, but reasonable. So I'm going to find that respondent in this case is in violation of the city code as charged, and that respondent correct the violations before 4:00 p.m. on Wednesday, August 6th, which is 14 days. And in the event respondent does not comply with the state, a fine in the amount of $50 per day for violation A. And I'm going to do $75 for violation B.
Cool.
Will be imposed for each day the violation continues past the aforestated date. The respondent is further ordered to contact the code compliance inspector to verify compliance with this order. I'm admitting the case file and PowerPoint into evidence as exhibits, and I find the notices properly given in this case. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I think we've done all right.
That's it? All right. Anything else we need to address before we adjourn? All right. We are adjourned. Thank you.